Hey guys, Frenzy here. Today I thought I'd sit down and record a video talking about things that I think should be added or changed in Omega Strikers. And I have 6 things on my list, so I'll go through them relatively quickly and I'll explain them so that way I don't take up too much of your time. The first thing is See Friend status. This should have been in the game within the first month of it being released, but it still isn't. You could, when you go into your friends list, if they're online, you should be able to see if they're in a lobby, in queue, or in a match. If they're sitting on the menu, it's just say sitting in menu, or in queue, or in match. And maybe you could say unranked, quick player, competitive. Because I've honestly sat there trying to invite people, but I don't even know if they're in our game or not. So I sit there for like 10 minutes not knowing they're in a game, and it gets really annoying really fast. It happens quite often. You should be able to see their status while they're in a game or not. Pardon me. You should be able to see the status of players on your friends list. This should have been in the game a while ago. It saves people's times of knowing if they're actually in a match or not, AFK, whatever. Second thing, more affinity ranks. If you look at game, when you reach affinity 10 on a character, there isn't really much else to do. You get your border, it's cool. You keep just playing the character. I think there should be more affinity ranks after the fact. And it doesn't even have to be anything special. It can kind of be the system they already do already. Let's say it's like resetting affinity. If you think about that, you could be 10, then you could just reset it as like maybe like a prestige or something if you want to do something like that, to where you go through affinities again, but not for the same rewards, for like new rewards. Maybe you'll get, a different idol post or something, so you could change it for however you want, or you can get another emote. Maybe you could select your emotes to be played when you're the MVP of a round, because it's always that, like excited emote, or like the positive one every time you win a round. Maybe if you got some other emotes for Affinity, you can have those played during that too, so it's a little bit more customization. And adding more Affinity ranks also adds more things for you to go for in the game besides just playing it. Because once you hit Affinity 10 on like your main character, then it's kind of like, there isn't really much else to do. So I guess it's a little extra rewards for just playing the game. Third thing is duo forward queue should be a thing. I know most of the player base are forward players, but there are some times where I'll be playing with somebody and just neither one of us want to play goalie. If that means we have to sit in a 7-minute queue, so be it. If I don't want to play goalie and my friend doesn't want to play goalie, but we want to play together, we should both be able to play forward. I know I can queue flex. There's a chance I'll get goalie and a chance I'll get forward. 9 times out of 10, you get goalie. Duo forward queue should be a thing. If I have to wait a long queue time, so be it. If it means I don't have to play goalie when I don't want to, sure. Next off, better rank system. By better rank system, I mean the point system. The fact you can gain 7, lose 25, gain 17, lose 11, and the random BS like that, it should just be plus 10, minus 10. Every single time, no matter what. You win, you get plus 10. If it's a blowout, you can get like plus 15. So if you 3-0, you get plus 15. If you just win the game, you get plus 10. However, on the other side, if you lose, you get minus 10. If you get blown out, you get minus 15. By blown out, I mean you literally do not get a single set. So that way, it's more consistent when you're winning or losing points. I think randomly, it seems random because it's not like you just lose different amounts of points and it's just annoying. If you lose and gain a consistent amount off of 2 variables, it makes the rank experience better, and it's not weird percentages like you getting 99% like freaking high gold or something and you have to win one more game to get plat. That's just stupid. It should just be 10-10, and the other thing I suggested with the 15-15 for blowouts. If you earned a blowout, if you got a blowout, you deserve more points. And that makes sense. Fifth thing, we need a Juno rework. This character is dumb. This character does not take much effort to play, and she has absolutely no consequences to doing anything she does. If she has no consequences of doing anything. She could throw slimes anywhere on the map. Doesn't matter. She can miss. Doesn't matter. Those are special on the ground. If it's in a bad spot, bad positionings for throwing it, doesn't matter. Why? Because the only way you can deal with it is by taking damage. That's not a consequence for you placing your abilities terribly. I see it all the time. It's never, if it's in a bad spot and they get, and even if it's in a good spot, you should be able to clear Juno's slimes without taking damage is what I'm getting at. I should have just said that from the start. You should be able to clear Juno's slimes without taking damage. They just released Now. You can delete Now's secondary from the game just by standing on it. It should be the same for slimes by touching them. Slimes are way too good for it to be rewarded for getting cleared and getting hit into by a player. Secondly, for Juno, if her primary, her Blobo Fling, if that hits any target, that Blobo immediately despawns. It does not spawn in. So that way, there's a little bit of a skill ceiling for Juno, my God forbid that exists, to where she can intentionally miss her primary to set up a Blobo, or just hit it directly, actually adding a skill ceiling to that brain-dead-ass character. Anyways, last thing is core flip change. There is one thing that really agitates, actually, core flip as a whole agitates me, period. I don't think it should be in the game, but the devs insist that it needs to be in the game because they haven't removed it. There's a change it does need, though. You should not be able to use core flip in the enemy's goal, period. I'm outlining it on screen of what I mean. In this box, you should never be able to core flip the enemy's goal. There is if you get in this spot, which it isn't very hard to do for the record, the goalie 900 times out of 10 is going to get scored on. With a very little counterplay on their end, considering core flip also does PvP damage for some reason, which is another thing they need to remove. Core flip PvP damage should not exist. Period. It's another thing that it automatically gives you elusive and gives you control of the ball. That's all it should do and give you the power hit. It should not do PvP damage, and it should not be usable in the enemy's goal. Outside of it, use it whenever you want, but not in their goal. It's stupid. It's corny. It low-key just removes skill from the game when people do that. Hell, I've done it before, and I even feel like an absolute bum for doing it. But anyways, those are the 6 changes I think should be in Omega Striker. Some of them are mild, some of them are more in-depth. But that's more of the game being out for 6 months, and I think some things are need for changings or reworks slightly. Let me know what you guys think. If you think I'm just out of my mind, go ahead and tell me, and I'll maybe debate you on it. Depends on how your take is. Anyways, I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.
Oh yes, very hard.